Yeah, it sounds really romantic.
It does.
I'm going to sail the Caribbean.
I'm going to
be gone
go
for 10 years.
go into all these ports and meet all these
just exotic
these
people.
People.
And then, you know what? I'll just go behind the bar and 10 bar. Just like Tom Cruise did in the Bahamas or whatever.
And
cocktail.
Right. And maybe if there's a hospital that needs my help, I'll do that for a couple of months. I'm good for another couple of years.
We got Ship of Fools.
It's a good name.
Sounds intriguing.
Wonder where he's going with that.
Little Minneapolis.
Okay.
All right. Big Al, Joe, Andy. I'm 40 years old. Who enjoys a glass of brown over ice. You want a little glass of brown is Big Al?
No idea. I would say coffee.
Oh my God.
Is that bourbon or whiskey or something?
Yeah. Whatever's brown that comes out of a brown bottle. I'm planning to take 5 to 10 years off of full-time work and sail to Eastern U.S., Bahamas, Caribbean, etc. The general consensus is that quitting work in your highest earning years is a terrible idea. But you don't hear about the potential financial benefits. Specifically, I'm thinking about doing Roth conversions of the roughly $450,000 I have in my 401k, while I'm living off my cash savings and brokerage accounts could significantly offset my lack of income for these years. That's not a huge benefit there, Ship of Fools.
Well, it is a benefit.
It's a very small one. You know what? I'm going to quit work.
Right. So I can do conversions.
So I can do Roth conversions.
Right.
I'm making a nice high income. And I'm going to say, you know what? There's a benefit of me not taking this $150,000 salary.
Well, you're talking yourself into it.
I'm going to, I'm going to go to the Caribbean.
Yep.
All right. So he bought a sailboat, or she bought a sailboat. Ship of Fools bought a sailboat.
Yeah.
I plan to travel and live on the cash. So $70,000 in cash. When I leave in the next 2 to 3 years, I'll have $200,000 in cash, a brokerage account of about $200,000, HSA of $20,000, Roth IRA of $40,000. I plan to spend between $30,000 to $50,000 during these years. All right. So how many years is he gonna? Or Ship of Fools?
5 to
5
10.
to 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's call it 40,000. We'll split the difference. So a couple 100,000 to 400,000 over that period of time.
All right. I grew up in a low income household and never increased my standard of living to that of which most people who make six figures have done. I know this lifestyle to which I've dreamed of living for 10 plus years will require me in my plan to be extremely flexible, and I'm okay with that. I'm working in healthcare. My entire career could fairly easily return to that career full-time or part-time to offset my cruising kitty. My cruising kitty. I've even embraced working behind a bar part-time on the trip if need be. My question for you all is, what other opportunities are there for a youngish person who is thinking about taking a sabbatical or mini retirement? I like the idea, Ship of Fools. What the hell? You only live once.
So
you bought the sailboat already. You got the plan.
You've had a dream for 10 years. I was going to say,
you got your brown.
That's right.
Put the little ice, listen to this podcast and go to the hospital or wherever you work and say, go pound sand.
That's right. I'm going.
I'm
got the sailboat. You know what? I agree with you, Joe. I think life is short. And
I'm leaving. I'm quit.
Yeah. Well, that was my line to you. But nevertheless, life is short. If you can pull this off at age 40, you didn't mention the spouse, so I'm assuming you're single. But if you can pull this off at age 40 and you got a plan and you're in a profession that's fairly easy to leave and come back, right? I mean, you probably have to get retrained on whatever new procedures there are in 5 or 10 years, but you could very easily do that probably. I would say go for it. Why not? I'm going to make a prediction though.
Yep.
I'm going to say Ship of Fools, his first 6 months will be heaven on earth. And then between 6 months and 2 years, this is not quite what I thought.
Yeah.
And in 2 years, he's back.
Could you imagine living on a boat for 5 years?
No. Alone? Or 10 years?
Oh, I could imagine like 10 minutes.
Are you prepared for retirement? Schedule a free financial assessment with an experienced financial professional right online at purefinancial.com.